Good morning and welcome to the Longboat Energy PLC farming presentation. Throughout this recorded presentation, investors will be in listen-only mode. Questions are encouraged and can be submitted at any time by the Q&A tab situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. Just simply type in your questions and press send. The company may not be in a position to answer every question it receives during the meeting itself. However, the company will review all questions submitted today and publish responses where it is appropriate to do so. Before we begin, I'd like to submit the following poll. I'd now like to hand you over to Helga Hammer, CEO, and Hilda South, Managing Director. Good morning to you both.
Thank you. And good morning, everyone. Very happy to present our latest farming deal to you this morning. This will be a short presentation, circa 10 minutes, on the deal itself and the new prospects. We recently presented an update on the company to you and will not repeat that today. With me today, I have Hilda Salte. She's the MD in Stavanger. She's a geologist by background, and she manages all the technical work. She will present the prospects to you. Before that, I will just give you a short summary of the transaction itself. This is a result of a bilateral process with OMV. We have secured a 20% interest in two large gas prospects, Osvik and Velocette. These are large. Osvik is 93 million BOE and Velocette 130. That's almost 600, almost 800 BCF. So very significant prospects. Our unrisked prospective resources increased by 68%. So these prospects also tick all the boxes for us. They are material, they are near field, they can be tied into existing infrastructure. That means they can be developed at low cost, efficiently, will have excellent economics, they will have low emissions, and hence also will be excellent from an ESG point of view. And finally, in both the licenses we farmed into, there is very significant follow-on potential. So if we are successful with any of these wells, there is a lot more to go after. So these wells will carry a net cost to us of $6 million after tax, and we have a carry of $3.4 million. So it's thanks to very efficient drilling in the 5 wells we have drilled already that we now are in the fortunate position that we can add 2 more wells so the shareholders will actually get 9 rather than 7 wells from the initial fundraise. This builds on a successful drilling campaign. So far, we've drilled 5 wells. We made 3 significant discoveries. Kveikje, which was discovered most recently, is the largest discovery in Norway this year. And Egyptian Vulture is also a very significant discovery where, as many of you know, the appraisal will be the next step. Here, you're looking at a map, and it's just to give you a little reminder of where we are. The 3 green circles are our discoveries. So Kveikje in the North Sea, Egyptian Vulture over in the Norwegian Sea, and Rødhette in the Barents Sea. And you see the 2 prospects, the Cambosola well, which is currently drilling very close to Kveikje, and our new Osvik is in the same area. And then you have Copernicus and Velocette quite far up north in the Norwegian Sea. And also then just show you the drilling program. So you'll see that these wells are coming soon. Cambosola is drilling at the moment, and Osvik is expected to spud in July already, and Copernicus now expected in August. So 3 key wells, all potential company makers coming up this summer. And then Velocette is then planned for second quarter next year. And Egyptian Vulture still remains an uncommitted well, but we expect it next year. So with that, I will hand over to Hilde. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, you too.
Good. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to present to you two very good, carefully selected prospects added onto our portfolio. They have significant size, modest risk, and are close to infrastructure. And adding on to the fact that they are gas is very, and then also have a very low CO2 footprint, is very good when it comes to our ESG profile and strategy. I will start with Osvik. It is located in the northern part of the North Sea, the most prolific part of the Norwegian continental shelf. It's just west of the giant Oseberg field, which has produced oil for a long time and also gas. And the operator on Oseberg just submitted a PDO in November 2021, where they will turn it into more of a gas field and also have partial electrification. Just between Oseberg and our prospect is also the Tune field, which has produced significant gas volumes. So we are in a very prolific area. And all of you has probably heard about Martin Linge, which is a high pressure, high temperature field producing very well at the moment. And there's also been a prospect further north, which is high pressure, high temperature, called Atlantis. So there's a good experience with finding oil and gas in this area. And as you can see from the partnership, we bought 20% from OMV, but they are still in there with a significant share, demonstrating that they have firm belief in this prospect, and together with the other partners, Source and Wintershall Dea. 93 million barrels is the mean resources estimated by the operator, a significant number, and being close to infrastructure, as Helge says, there's a good incentive for tieback to existing infrastructure. It is gas, and also it has a modest chance of success of 36%, which is a high number when it comes to exploration. And if you focus in on the map, you can see that there's several blobs there, indicating that if you have success in this well, there is significant follow-up potential on the license. So focusing on the actual prospect, it's an untested Jurassic fault block. It has the Tune field, as you can see from this cartoon, just up dip from it. And it sits very close to Martin Linge and Atlantis, which are two other analog high pressure, high temperature actually discoveries, and of course producing fields. The target level is familiar Brent. This we're targeting two reservoir levels, both Tarbert and Ness. And that's and you can see from the cartoon as well that you have the follow-on potential in adjacent fault blocks. And the updip Tune field has actually produced 150 million barrels to date. So there's significant potential here. And the added up blocks that are undrilled amounts to 80 million barrels in total. The key risk is reservoir quality and fault seal. And I think it's worth mentioning that Norway still has fault blocks, high pressure, high temperature fault blocks remaining undrilled, which are de-risked significantly on the UK side, where there are several high pressure, high temperature gas producing fields in these type of settings. Moving on to our next prospect. Here we're sitting in a more virgin setting. It's close to Osterhansten, which is a giant gas hub in the Norwegian Sea. You can see from the map here, it's further north than the Osvik. We already have a prospect in this area. It's called Copernicus. It has significant volume potential as well. They are different intervals, so they are not linked. So success on Velocette or Copernicus is not linked to success on the other one. But as you can see, the distance to infrastructure here as well, even though it's a less mature area, is close. And you have the Polarled pipeline exporting the gas from Aasta Hansteen, and we could easily connect us up to this one. On Velocette as well, the operator remained confident in their prospects. They kept the 40% share, and we got the 20%. And the other partners is Inpex, also a very serious partner on the shelf, with a very good track record. Velocette in itself has 130 million barrels in the mean case, estimated by the operator, but significantly follow-up potential, as you can see from the map, with the numerous prospects that are at same level in the license. The chance of success here is 35%. Still, that's a very good number, and I'll come back to that in the next slide. Why that is such a good thing. So focusing in on the actual prospect, as you can see from the picture here, this is the seismic where we have mapped its fault blocks, several fault blocks that with recent advantages in seismic reprocessing, we have de-risked these anomalies so that you can have indications of gas-filled sand, DHI indications. And this is the reason why we can feel confident that we have a 35% chance of success in a more immature area. Being more immature, you have much more follow-up potential. It's 200 million barrels of follow-up potential, and you can see the different prospects outlined here. They're all supported by the same amplitude anomalies, and Velocette will de-risk them significantly. It's a Cretaceous gneiss, the formation turbidite sands on this, and also again back to the seismic that you can kind of easily map from a more mature areas into this slightly more immature area and feel confident that you have the presence of the same package in the same sands. The key risk is reservoir presence and quality, but as I said, this new seismic has helped with that significantly.
Very good. Thank you, Hilda. And just to summarize, so we've added 2 very material gas prospects to our portfolio. We've increased our prospective resources by 68%. We now have 4 catalysts ahead of us. So very exciting summer to look forward to. In the meantime, tax change in Norway has been proposed. So expect that to be ratified by the Storting in the summer, which will allow us to continue to benefit from tax refund in Norway when it comes to exploration and also other costs. And we continue to grow the business. We continue to chase M&A opportunities. So we will keep you posted as we reach important milestones. Thank you, everyone.
Helge, Hilda, thank you very much for your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, please do continue to submit your questions using the Q&A tab situated on the top right-hand corner of your screen. But just while the company take a few moments to review those questions submitted today, I'd like to remind you that a recording of this presentation, along with a copy of the slides and the published Q&A, can be accessed via your investor dashboard. Helge, Hilda, as you can see, we've received a number of questions throughout today's presentation, and thank you to all the investors for submitting those. Could I just ask you to read out those questions and give responses where it's appropriate to do so, and then I'll pick up from you both at the end.
Yes, thank you. So the first question is a question related to the Cambosola drilling progress, which is quite a detailed question, but unfortunately, we are not in a position to comment on the exact kind of progress in that well, other than saying that nothing has changed in terms of expecting to report on that either at the very end of this month or early June. Then we have a question has a CPR been done for these two prospects? And if so, will it be made available to shareholders? We haven't had time to carry out a CPR on these prospects. What we are using here is actually all the operator's estimate, not our own estimates. So it's from the operator's work, OMV's work. We might do a CPR, but that hasn't started. But if we see we need one, we will that will be made available to shareholders.
And we have verified the operator's numbers, so we have done a thorough due diligence exercise on the prospects to verify the volume range and risk range.
Thanks, Hilda. Does this transaction, next question, does this transaction signal that you are still focusing on exploration rather than development and production at the moment? It doesn't. This deal in itself doesn't signal any change in focus or change in strategy. So the strategy remains absolutely unchanged. And the strategy is to build an E&P company. So we are still very keen to add production to the portfolio and also developments. I think there is a if anything, there's a signal of the M&A market that we struggle to see huge value potential and upside in production deals in the current market. And you will have seen that there are very few production deals, and the ones that are announced are at prices which I think tells a story in itself. So no change in strategy, no change in focus. But we think we're doing the right thing, and if these wells come in and we make more discoveries, every discovery is a potential trading chip into production and development. So we will continue to work in the same way. Then we have a couple of questions left. Was the farming process very competitive? Well, this is a bilateral deal with OMV. There was a competitive process initially, but I mean we managed to make it into a bilateral by doing a combined 2-well process here. So and thanks to a very good relationship with OMV, we are really pleased to be able to get into an exclusive negotiation. Then final question: OMV has kept an important position in these prospects. Why did they sell 20%? I think we don't know exactly why 20%, but we are very happy to have 20%. It fits us nicely. They then hold on to 40%, which means you still have an operator who is very still have very material interest. I think the process OMV has announced, as many companies of similar nature do, that they will focus more into renewable energy and will change the spend in that direction. And without speculating, I think that's what is driving OMV here. So with that, we end the Q&A session.
Helge, Hilda, thank you very much for that. I think you managed to address all those questions from investors. And of course, the company will review all questions submitted today and will publish those responses on the Investor Meet Company platform. But just before redirecting investors to provide you with their feedback, which I know is particularly important to the company, Helge, could I just ask you for a few closing comments?
Well, I'd just like to thank everyone who have been attending this morning, and thank you for continuing to follow us and our activities. I mean, we are very, very excited about the month ahead and 3 wells. So we will keep you posted and keep you updated with these presentations when there are results to report. So thank you for that.
Helge, Hilda, thank you very much for updating investors today. Could I please ask investors not to close the session, as you'll now be automatically redirected to provide your feedback in order that the management team can better understand your views and expectations. This will only take a few moments to complete, but I'm sure will be greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the management team of Longboat Energy PLC, we'd like to thank you for attending today's presentation, and good morning to you all.
Thank you for your time.